Welcome to the Gorilla Position Talk Show. I am your host, the next big thing, Lakota Carter. I am with my co-host. I don't have your nickname yet. We'll figure some shit out. Today is very, very special. If you watched one of my very first streams on the Off the Script channel, you watched me nearly faint when these two men tried to kill each other. Coming up first, Mr. Madhouse, the wood chipper himself, Zach Monstar.
Hey,
Hey, Zach. And
what's up, buddy?
What's up, bud?
Well, another day. Here we are. I almost missed this today.
I know. Thanks for taking time, man. All right. And his best friend, who he nearly tried to kill, Raven Havoc.
Zach ain't got no balls.
The only reason why I almost missed it is because Raven didn't tell me what time we were supposed to do it at.
Bitch.
Oh.
You literally messaged me at like 5:15, like, oh, we're doing it tonight. And I'm like, oh, thanks for the heads up.
There's no proof behind that statement. I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll screenshot it.
Oh, you're going to screenshot and show it on here, Raven? Go ahead. Show me your technology.
Let me get my iPad. Hang on.
You can barely work your cell phone.
All right, guys. So let me get into it. You guys nearly tried to kill each other.
Yeah.
No.
And your best friend
No. Yeah.
tried to kill each other. My thought process through that whole thing was, what is wrong with these people? I already asked you that question, and I asked Raven that before we came on. You guys went. I feel like you guys went. There was some spots in that match, like Zach, you have personally ruined anything on a skewer stick for me.
You're welcome.
Just ruined it because now
I wish you could have seen his face, Zach, when he asked me if like we went too far and what was wrong with me, and I said I would legitimately get off to this shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was his exact answer.
It's true, man. I'm trying to figure out how to blood eagle somebody in a wrestling ring.
Can we just lock up and fuck?
Yeah. Tackle, drop down, take the D.
Just put the kids to bed before that happens, parents.
Nah, this is a kid show. Me and Raven are rated E for everyone.
So there was a point in that match where, in the beginning, Raven stepped in your face and told you, "I drove a very long way just to come kick your ass."
14 hours.
12 and a half.
12 and a half driving, but like stopping, yeah, probably about 14.
14. So he was like 14 fucking hours just for you.
Raven has the bladder of a little girl, so that's why it took 14 hours.
No, I'm actually pretty good. Kevin Cooper has the bladder of a little girl.
Oh, you said him by name. Oh, Coop gonna be mad?
He was here 2 days ago. What's he gonna do? Come back?
Come back.
Good point.
Drink my liquor?
On a side note, before we get into this, check this out. Want to see something gnarly?
Oh,
Sure.
Like, what the hell did you do to yourself?
Hold up. I don't know if you can see it. Wait. Maybe you can. You see how far that thing's sticking out?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a lump too?
Oh, bro.
Dude.
Go to the comments.
I got one like right here.
Yeah, bro. The thing is like solid. Like it's solid. Like it's squishy, but it's solid.
It's squishy. So I knew that light tubes were a thing, obviously, but I've never seen you guys that many light tubes used in one consecutive match.
I don't feel like we used enough.
We didn't. We didn't use a lot. We really didn't. I expected us to use a lot more.
The ring,
Yeah, we had.
glass, light tubes, Legos, and thumbtacks. By the time you guys were done,
Were there thumbtacks?
No, it was just the Legos and Brax.
didn't you?
Yeah, like there's a very few things that I won't do in any like death match. I don't like barbed wire. Like I just don't. Like there's too many things that can go wrong. And I don't like thumbtacks.
You put out
Yeah, like I'll take a gusset plate all day long. Why? Because once it goes in, it all comes out. Thumbtacks, you have to individually pull them bitches out. And like I ain't about that life. I don't want it.
But tell them how scared you were to take that plate.
Yeah, well, I never had taken it before, so I was a little bit nervous. But now I'm doing it with everybody.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, man. I can only imagine what it feels like to get a gusset plate stuck in your arm or head or
How do I honestly, dude? Like, I
It's
feel like
super sharp.
the skewers hurt more than the gusset.
I would say so, because that's a gusset's just one big thing. The skewers are like multiple.
If you're asking me like the description of a gusset plate, it's like it's a very sharp, quick pain,
Mhm.
and then it like drops off.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Skewers suck, like not so much going in, but when they release them and all the skewers go forward.
Yeah,
Because you
that's
can
when
literally feel your scalp just lifting.
Oh.
So
yeah, that's when you feel the pressure.
yeah.
So I told Zach the first time I met Zach, I knew I was fucked up in the head. I nearly thought about killing you, Raven. So the finish to the match was the Death Valley driver off the ladder through the pane of glass. This is how I knew that Zach has corrupted me ever since now, because I'm sitting here thinking of new ways that he could kill you or inflict pain on you. So I was like, damn it, Zach, why didn't you hit him with the Canadian Destroyer and just call it a day?
Because
Well, I
Raven
think
won't take a destroyer off a ladder.
Yeah, if we're like flat, fine.
Really? You got past that?
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Bro, that's probably like one of the most scariest bumps to take.
I remember when we first had the conversation that I wanted to hit the driver because I knew you could hit a backflip really clean, and I know I can get over with the driver. But you were I remember you were like, I'm not so big about drivers, and I was like, hey, me too. Like I don't like giving them, and I don't like taking them. But if it's somebody that like I know can get over on a flip, I have no problem throwing it because I know that I'm going to take care of you.
Now that I know like how you are in the ring, it'd be like if you want to do one, yeah, we can do one. Like
That's one of my favorite moves of all time, though. That's a guilty pleasure of mine.
It's so overdone nowadays.
If we're talking about drivers, the package pile driver.
Love it.
Love it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while. I don't think I've seen that since Steen and Generico.
So,
package.
dude, Pentagon does it all the time.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah, Pentagon. How did I forget about Pentagon?
Goddamn.
So, Raven. So, my buddy, he's doing like a version of the package. So he like
a little bit. Well, dude, you guys got to understand. Like, I was a gymnast competitively for 8.5 years. Like, you don't learn to do round off back handsprings, double backflips without landing on your neck a couple times. Like, it happens.
I hit a Rana the other night.
Nice.
Like straight up, jump up, hook the Rana, go. Don't even ask me because I've never thrown it before in my life. I just said, hey, I'm going to do a Rana.
You just said, fuck it. If it
Full
fails,
send.
then oh well.
Together.
Full send, full commit.
There's just some of those spots. I'm gonna ask you about the spot that I think you guys went too far. I genuinely thought that Zach was dead. I didn't think another human being could get up after that, and that was the double stomp off the second turnbuckle through the pane of glass.
Yeah.
Feel.
Oh, it looks so good.
It really.
It's my favorite spot out of that entire match.
Mine too.
I don't know. Like I like that, and I really like the X-Plex onto the light tubes. Like that release push through suplex. Like that was super clean.
Yeah. Because you wanted to do something, but I was like, throw me up and send me.
Yeah, like we were talking about it, and I was like, I wanted to hit you with something that was just like it showed the size comparison, but it also showed like the agility within you also. So like when we did it, all I remember is like I originally hooked it and you were like scoot back, and I was like, yeah, you're right. And we just ended up scooting back, and like once I got you up, like it was a full send, and like you're the first person that I've done that with where like I didn't have to go down with them because I knew that you were going to float over perfectly fine.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're like 6 foot, aren't you, Zach? Like
6'5".
or 6'2". Yeah, I mean, 6'5". Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Taller than
Yeah,
what
no. 6'5", 271 pounds now.
So why did you do a baby cutter on Bud Heavy?
Ooh. Because I like throwing things. I like doing stuff that like you just wouldn't see from a big dude. You know what I mean? How many dudes do you see throwing cutters? Like if you watch the indie scene, it's a shit ton.
Yeah, it's a whole lot. You got Randy Orton as probably the most famous example of that. So it's
right. So like you have Orton, and then you have DDP, then you have Bubba, and then you have every schmuck on the indies, and then you have everybody in AEW hitting springboard cutter, backflip cutter. You know what I mean? Second rope rancha cutter. Like it. All you see are cutters. So I wanted to just do something that was just different. And I was like, I'm 6'5". I'm going to hit people with baby cutters. That's where I kick them and they go down to both knees. And I literally scream out of nowhere, Raven. And I hit them with a baby cutter.
Yeah. You literally hit him with a baby cutter.
But that would be like, okay, if you saw Raven out here power bombing people, would it make sense? Absolutely not. But it's something that nobody really sees, and you know what I mean? It's something that he wants to do. Wrestling is subjective. Like that's what I tell everybody. That's what I tell all of my students. I tell Raven that all the time, man. Wrestling is subjective. Like if you want to do something, go out there and fucking do it. Why? Because the realism of us making it to a Fed and being paid oodles of money to be on TV and do this are 10 in a million. You know what I mean? So when push comes to shove, man, just go out there, be happy, and create memories and moments that like when it's all said and done, you can look down at your kids and be like, this is what your dad used to do. And it was a blast.
Right. Like one of my favorite things to do that I don't get to do often because I am a smaller guy is I love doing exploder suplexes.
Yeah.
Just that hook, grab, throw.
Oh, dude, I would so take that with you. Can we do it into the buckle?
Of course.
I love taking buckle bumps. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I did it with Neil Diamond Cutter. Grabbed him, brought him in, and just threw his ass.
Yeah. Dude, I love working with. So there's this dude that I worked with. His name's Jason Duke. And Jason is probably about the same size as Raven. Mm-hmm. And walking in, he was just like, man, I'm going to get my ass handed to me. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was he was genuinely nervous to take anything from me because all he's ever seen is me, he's only ever saw me working as a, how do I put this, from like behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Me and him have never had a match together, anything. Yep. So him watching from on the sideline, watching me work, like all of my shots are fucking point blank. Like they're dead on. I don't miss and I don't pull them. And Raven can be the first to tell you. So he was like, fuck, dude, I'm walking in. I'm going to get my ass handed to me. I'm not going to get anything. No offense. And I was like, nah, dude, that's not how I work. And like, I asked him 2 things that he wants to hit. And he was like, man, I've always wanted to hit a power bomb and I've always wanted to hit a German. So like that, we did it flat out. I ran at him. He moved. I took the ropes. And when I took the step back, he hit me with a full-fledged German. And the same thing with the power bomb. He got me with the power bomb. I was on the second rope and like he hooked me and he like walked out. And then like once his legs stopped shaking, he full-fledged like ran and jumped up and like sat out power bombed me. It was so fucking funny. But like I like to let people work the way that they want to work. If Raven hit me up and was like, hey, I want to choke slam you, like, okay, we'll figure it out, but we'll do it.
Idea. That's an idea.
I thought you.
Yep. So this question goes for both of you. You obviously, both of you probably were wrestling fans growing up, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so for both of you, I'll start with Zach first. Who was the guy that made you go, I want to do that?
Can I cheat pop myself and say Raven Havoc made me want to wrestle? No, I'm kidding. Nah, man. So like the it's so hard to say, dude, because I grew up with like the end of the 80s wrestling. You know what I mean? I was born in 89. So the very first memory that I have of wrestling, dude, had to be like 92, 93. And that was right about the time that like you had no, you didn't have Goldberg. You had Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior, and Hulk Hogan was like the big thing. You know what I mean? Eat your vitamins, shake your babies, or whatever he used to say. Like, so like it was Macho Man and it was Ultimate Warrior and like it was Hulk Hogan. Like these are the individuals that I watched growing up that made me fall in love with these like larger than life personas, and like, you know what I mean? So it taught me that you can act like a maniac and people will love you for it. I mean, that's pretty, like, you know. And then as it progressed, you know, it was Sting. And we're not talking like 90s Sting with like the colorful face paint. No, we're talking like flat out like Crow Sting. And it was Conan and Rey Mysterio, and it was Goldberg. Because like Goldberg back in the day, dude, he was great. You know, but then it falls into like Vampiro, and like Vampiro was the best, dude. Like I genuinely just liked wrestling at one point, where like I didn't have a favorite, I just liked it. From Raw to WCW to ECW to anything I could get my hands on and physically sit down and watch, I loved it.
Yeah, Kev, we need to give you opportunity to talk too. What did you think of the match?
Like I said before, I would not be able to drive that far and know I was getting ready to die.
I'd do it again tomorrow.
In wrestling, man, we got bucket list.
Right.
You know?
I don't care if I was so high on drugs that I didn't know what I was doing. I still couldn't do it.
Do it all again in a heartbeat.
Oh, and we were sober. We were 110% sober.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Zach we didn't bring no grass, and Zach wouldn't let me drink.
I didn't bring no.
Nope.
It's one of the best quotes I've heard so far on this show. I didn't bring no grass, and he wouldn't let me drink.
Dude, I ain't crossing state lines.
Jesus.
So, same question for you, Raven. Who was that guy that you first saw that really made you go, all right, this is what I'm going to do with my life?
I don't know. It's kind of like Zach said. I just enjoyed wrestling. I mean, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Rey Mysterio.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, it just, I enjoyed wrestling.
Where is it?
Yeah, I've got mine in the gun safe.
Wow, bro.
Jeff Hardy.
I hear my child crying.
Oh,
He must be
Is she
hungry.
all right?
Mine just got picked up by her mom.
So there's a point in that match where you paper cut your best friend and then squirt a lemon in his mouth. Was that just something off the fly, or was that something that you guys talked about?
I so wanted to do that. he's like, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna like paper cut your hands. I'm like, don't fuck up my fingers. Don't do that shit. And then he's like, what about like here? And I was like, yeah, fucking do it. And he was like, what about your mouth? I was like, dude, if you're gonna do my mouth, do my fucking tongue.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. See, and like after that, I thought that he might be thirsty, and I didn't have water and sugar, so I gave him a lemon instead of lemonade. You see how that worked?
Yeah, but it burns like hell. Everyone knows that.
Nah, it's all.
So was there ever a point in that match where you didn't think about anything, or was it all predetermined?
Let me say this, Zach, there is no, and it's not even that bad, but like you want to talk about like lemon juice and shit. When I did Southern Sickness last year, we did kiddie pools.
Of
And-
alcohol.
of alcohol and lemon juice. But wait, it gets so much better. There are like 15 gusset plates in this shit, like submerged. And he's like, "How do you want to take this?" Because again, I was dealing with fucking half a fucking finger missing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, I can't fall in it, so throw me over it, and I'll perch, and then pick the gusset plates up and stick one in my arm, stick another one in this arm, and then pound two in my back, and I'll just fucking fall." That was a little rough.
I would have did it. So pound one, pound two, you're still holding on, jump up, double stomp.
I wanted to be in control because of my end.
I feel that.
Bro,
I feel that.
That double stomp, it looks so incredible.
Zach did not want to go through that glass.
7 times. I've watched that match 7 times, and every time I enjoy the hell out of it.
It wasn't Zach's idea to do it that way, but he's like, whatever you give me, you have to do it because I'm not gonna want to do it.
So like my thing was, I knew that I wanted to take it flat, and I knew that, I wanted to do it where I kind of had control of my bump, if that made sense. I didn't want to do something where like the glass was like sitting in the buckle or at a diagonal or anything like that. So, and I wanted to know that I was going to go through it flat. So when we were talking about the double stomp idea, it kind of just pieced together really well. And we figured out like how we were going to get into it, what we were going to do. What we didn't talk about was him dragging me, ankle first with my head going through broken glass, but that's fine. That's fine.
Well, because I really think looking back now, it was you said, "What's one of your finishers?" And I said, "A double stomp." And you were like, "Well, you can't just lay it across me and do it because that's not going to work."
Mm-hmm.
And I think I pulled up when JW and I did it, and I said, "Can you do this?" And you went, "Yeah." And I said, "Then let's do that." You're flat and you're in complete control.
Yeah. I just worked Funny Bone, and we did the same exact spot because he was like, "Oh, I do the double stomp, and it's part of my skewer spot." So the skewer spot was he fucking laced me up in the corner, skewer, climbed to the top rope. I hung myself, and he double stomped me. And like, when I tell you I will take yours all day long compared to fucking Funny Bones, I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
There was also sorry to cut you off. But there was also go ahead.
No. I was saying, go ahead. Like, feel free.
There was also a point in that match that I felt like wasn't supposed to happen. You had chairs, and it was stacks of chairs. Was that a botch? Did what happened there, Zach? You pulled a Paul Heyman, man. What happened?
I told Zach it was not gonna work. I told him this will not work. The panes are the exact same size. If we had a big pane and a little pane, it would work, but they're the exact same size, and they will not stack.
I had it in my head that it would stack. And I was like, I'm going to make this work. And by the time, and like realistically, like it was probably only like 15, 20 seconds of me like dicking around with the setup. But like at the point in time, like it felt like I had been over there for 5 minutes with like my dick. Yeah, like with my dick in my hand, Raven's still down on the ground, and I'm like trying to fucking play Bob the Builder with these chairs and glass, and I'm just like,
And then he came over and hit you back with a light tube. Was that just something that was improvised, or did you just go, I'm going to hit you with this, that way we don't have to worry about
to break that wall, because we've already broken it. So like, I know there's a time and a place for downtime in every match, but like I felt like personally it was taking too long, and I couldn't just lay there. So like I grabbed one of the tubes that were near me and I went, Zach. So he knew, like by the time he was turning, he saw me, and I hit him, and that's when I just pushed him out of the way, put it in the corner, and said, just send me, because it'll keep me down long enough for you to set everything else up.
See, and like the best way that I can explain like talking about this match and like calling it was when we were talking in the back, like it was a lot of, hey, what do you do? Okay, well, I do this. Well, how do we implement that? in what we're trying to do. And my biggest thing is, one, it was my first death match, so I was a little hesitant on things. Like, I knew once I got out there, I was going to go full bar. No matter what happened, I was going to just, it was the second that I heard my music, it was time to clock in for me. And it didn't really help that like Raven's music is like top fucking notch for me. Like, I listen to King 810 all the damn time. So like, here's Alpha Omega playing, and then here's my music, and I was like, oh, this is my Saturday morning playlist. Like, let's go. So once we got out there, but like I said, like it was a lot of just I like telling stories from psychology aspects. And I know that sounds weird, especially if you watch like any of my matches. And like I explained this to Raven, like it needs to build. Like we can't do light tubes and then go into, cookie sheets. Like it doesn't, you know what I mean? Everything has to be an escalade. So when it finally came down to it, like we only called like our bigger stuff, like the double stomp through the ladder, the transitions into how I run my spots, how he runs his. But for the most part, man, like when the light tubes first got involved with him, we didn't call that. Like we literally just communicated right then and there, and he was like, hey, stay down for me. And I was like, okay. And like there it was, and like he went all the way around town with it. And I saw him in previous matches do the running boot in the corner. So I specifically was like, can we do that there? You know what I mean? Like we just pieced it really well together. So like anything that was botchy at all, it was honestly just like it was covered up very quickly with just communication.
I don't feel like anything was botchy.
Not really. The only botch that I would even call a botch was that the glass trying to stack the glass, and it really wasn't even a botch.
Right. So there was only two things for me. It was me trying to be Bob the Builder, for one. And in the beginning of the match, Raven sends me off, or I send myself off. I can't remember which one. But he goes for this big line, and I duck under it, and I grab him by the waist, and I pull him backwards. And then I hit the ropes again. And when I kicked him in the legs, it should have sent his legs backwards, but instead he completely rolled backwards.
I did.
Like that was the only, but other than that, like, and that's honestly like just getting the feel. You know what I mean? This is the first time me and Raven had ever worked each other.
God, we met each other, what, the day before?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
we had never met each other before. We'd only talk through like Facebook and text and cell phone and stuff. So like when it came down to this, like this is our first time meeting, and then now we're working each other. And I want to live up to his expectation of me, and he wants to live up to my expectation of him. So we just, you know what I mean? It was honestly like, the best way I can explain it is like our first match was very good, but it was just a feeler match. Like us going at it again, we're going to know exactly how to work with one another, and it's going to be 10 times greater than what it was before.
I agree. Like the only thing we said it in the last one, the only thing we would change is that we wish I would have had more offense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you kind of got your ass kicked in that match.
That's all good.
So I ask you both another question because I'm very curious. I'll start with Raven now. What's the worst pain you've ever felt during a match?
Kenzen in the head. That thing I showed you earlier that I said I've had twice in my head.
Yeah,
Kenzen in the head.
Spikes, yeah. Because don't they have to pull that out with like a hammer or pliers afterwards? Like no matter where it's stuck, yeah.
It's awful.
That was the worst pain?
It sucks going in, it sucks while it sits there, and it sucks coming out, and it sucks for the next 3 days.
Zach, what is the worst pain you've ever felt?
Okay, so mine's a little bit of like a two-parter, if that makes sense. So the Saturday beforehand, I was working over at Atomic, and we were using glass tubes. And somebody had the ingenious idea to use the T10s. And the T10s they're skinny, and they're probably about a foot long. Okay. They'll probably come out longer, but like that, we used a foot long T10, and there was 2 of them, and dude picked them up, and I was on my knees, and I used to wear this sleeveless shirt that had a hood on it, and my dumbass pulled the hood down after it was on my head. I pulled it down and I threw my arms out, and I was like, do it, fucking do it, show these people, blah blah blah. And he fucking took those bitches and he cracked them right on the side of my neck here, which completely sliced my ear like in half. So I thought like my ear was literally hanging on by a thread, and I was like, fuck, dude. So we made it to the back. I ended up super gluing my ear shut, and then 2 days later, I had my own show over at Real Pro, and at the point in time, we were renting a wrestling ring, and he wasn't upkeeping the ring, and the dude picked me up and he hit me with a stalling suplex from like the second rope, like we were superplexing that bitch, and I had hit so hard on like a spot that like the wood had like cracked or fallen through that I caught nothing but beam and bar, and it completely dislocated my shoulder. So here I am at the end of my match. I can't move I can't rotate my right arm in any way, shape, or form because it's dislocated. So I have my mom and my stepdad. My stepdad's pulling my shoulder, trying to pop it back into place, while my mother is sitting there with a pair of tweezers digging glass that she saw out of my ear. I have to say that those 2 instances into one thing is the worst thing I've ever felt in wrestling, and like I've done some pretty dumb shit.
I'll add to that when we did a 6-man casket match a couple years ago, and working with a dude that was just not in the right frame of mind. Me being small, you know how it is. The bigger guys like to take advantage of the smaller guys.
Mm-hmm.
Dude just like yanks me up and throws me from the inside of the ring to the outside, powerbomb style, and I hit the side of the casket. And like
Dude.
when I hit, I was like, that fucking sucked.
Yeah.
We finished the match. Everything's cool. I'm walking around, and then like 15 minutes later, I just fall the fuck over. And they finally get me to the hospital, and I was like, what happened? And they the nurse looks at me and goes, you moved your spine. Like your spine went.
Jesus.
Like, yeah, and I'm like, is that bad? She goes, no, it set itself back in place, but you're going to be hurting for a while. And I was.
Dude, Bud Heavy. Heavy's a big boy, bro. Like, and when we did the match with, it was me, Heavy, and Ocean. Heavy put I was sitting in the buckle, and he put the stop sign in front of me, and like he hits a cannonball. So like cannonball without anything in front of you sucks, because Heavy is such a big dude, and like he throws it. That's 240, 250 just hitting you as hard as it can in a ball form. You know what I mean? So when he put the stop sign, he hit me so hard with this fucking stop sign, like with this cannonball with the stop sign in front of me, like it dislocated these 2 fingers like completely sideways. And all I remember is I had to pop them bitches back into place and still finish the match.
Yup, been there, done that.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, I love how he just brushes past. He's just like, oh yeah, I had to super glue my ear.
Yeah.
Just brushed past that. I had to super glue my ear. No big deal.
Yeah.
I think the only one that I wish I would have super glued, like I have this little gnarly thing up here on the top of my head. When I worked Fulton, he threw a chair at me because he was so excited, and it like flipped the skin back. So like for the rest of the match, like my head was just waving at people. And I I never super glued it. So like even to this day, like I can feel like it's just a lump. I'm bumpy.
Just a lump.
It's just a lump.
Bright side, at least you don't have one of those.
Yeah.
Jesus
Even though I love that.
God.
I will say that I don't know if you can see it anymore. So do you see the little dots? Hold
Are
on.
those
Wait.
mine?
Wait, I gotta find them.
I saw them
Yeah.
right there. Are those mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So beforehand, I used to paint my arm. I still do actually, but I would paint my arms with acrylic paint, and because it just gave me like this really cool like demon from the mud look, and like I was about it. And Raven popped the gusset plate in me, and when he pulled it out, I didn't notice it until it started to heal. And once it healed, like the acrylic paint is embedded into my arms, like it shows exactly where I took the gusset. Like Raven gave me a tattoo that match.
There was also a point in that match. You have some of the best kicks and knees I have ever seen in my entire life. I
Thank
put
you.
them on anybody. You kicked him, so I don't know if it looked like it hurt so bad.
I wish I would have kicked you more, Zach, because I've got some nasty kicks too.
You kicked him so hard that this man nearly did a back somersault.
Oh, that was the knee.
Yeah, that was the knee. You just
That was that.
around the world and just said, "I'm gonna kick your face off."
Yeah, that was when you kicked me in the chest.
Yeah. Okay.
God.
So, and I mean, like, I don't know if Raven can like agree with this. So, like, because of our gimmicks, we don't really have the ability to like chain wrestle. It doesn't really flow well for us.
We can, we just don't. It doesn't match what we do.
Like, and I was just about to say, like, in a show, we can't do that back and forth chain wrestling. It doesn't work for us. Here I am, this 6'5", 270 demon looking devil motherfucker, and here's Raven,
The devil.
you know, he's what, 5, what are you, you're like 5'6", 5'7". Am I giving you too much credit?
No, I'm 5'8".
Really?
Yes, on the
Baby,
dot.
is Raven 5'8"?
I am 5'8" on the dot.
I don't know about that.
Heather's 5'4", and like,
Hang on a minute. I'm gonna prove a damn point here. Prove a point. It's gonna prove a point. Hang on, man. Grab my tape measure. 5'8" on the dot.
what shoes are you wearing right now?
None.
What are you standing on?
Floor.
I don't believe you're 5'8". That thing's broken. So okay, for story purposes, Raven's 5'8", and it doesn't. We come out looking evil as fuck, playing a very dark character gimmick, or we're just us at the end of the day. But it doesn't make sense for us to be able to lock up and chain wrestle and go back and forth and go hold for hold, because it just doesn't work for us. So me personally, I have invested my time and effort into making everything I do look and feel as real as humanly possible. And it's the same thing for him.
I agree, because it's that aggressive dark side. We're not supposed to be out there, like cute baby face, shake everybody's hand. No, that's not the character. That's not us.
No, I'm going out there and I'm shaking babies. Wait, what?
You don't see the Fiend going out there and shaking hands.
Now,
So-
after
Right.
the show, yeah.
Right, but like, and that's a good example. Like, when was the last time you saw The Undertaker do a collar and elbow tie up and then work a hammerlock and a headlock? You know what I mean? Like,
I've ever seen that actually.
it's the same thing for like, the Fiend. The Fiend's not out there throwing out hammerlocks and headlocks and chain wrestling you down to the mat. No, he's out there to physically be as violent as humanly possible, because you have to live up to whatever character that you're trying to do.
So, leading into you, Zach, where did you get the idea for the face paint? Because you have some of the best face paint I think I've ever seen.
Honestly, it was just something that I wanted to do. Truth be told, like I'm a tattoo artist, so because Zach can't chain wrestle. That's cute. You know, that guy from Wrestling Review Society.
We chain wrestled in your backyard last time I was down there.
You know, that guy from Wrestling Review Society talks a lot of shit for being a keyboard warrior. I'm just saying. I'll
punch him in his dick.
If he was a real man, he'd be up here talking that shit, but he's not. So,
fake bitch boy.
Zach Monstar versus Kevin in the death match.
Oh, Kevin runs Wrestling Review Society. Okay, I wasn't gonna name names.
Yeah, fuck Kevin.
Fuck Kevin. That's why he got hit in the balls by Bud Heavy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I asked him about that. I don't want to talk about Bud too much because this is your guys' interview. He legit hit Kevin in the balls.
Yeah. I mean,
like a part of a storyline or nothing like that. It was just like a cue.
It's such a small target, but Kevin has like 57 kids, so like, and I was gonna say that like the fact that he was able to actually hit Kevin in the balls because it's such a small target, like that's impressive. But wow, but Kevin has like 37 kids, so like it's, you know, they're obviously working. So yeah, anyways, I'm a tattoo artist, so like I love painting and designing and stuff like that. So when I started doing the face paint, I just kind of play around with it. I have no idea what I'm gonna do up until the point that like I'm actually in the bathroom and like I have my paint set and I'm just kind of like, does this need a white base? Does this need black? Do I want to go more red? Like, and those are like the three colors that I really stick with. It's just black, white, and red. And as of late, I've stopped painting my face because I feel like every time I'm on like a wrestling show, there's 17 people that paint their fucking face anymore. And I'm just like, and I'm over it.
To me, face paint should mean something. Like
it should.
With Finn Balor, you know, you don't see it every week. And with you, I feel like it should mean something.
It's so face paint is kind of like a badge of honor, and a lot of, man, as of late, like I've just been doing the Raven Havoc gimmick. Like I've just been going heavy around the eyes, and then I throw the cross on the forehead. I have to face in like 2 weeks time, I have to face Sin Bodhi and Techno Destructo from Guar. So I'll probably end up painting up for that, and I have this really cool like Viking thing that I want to do for that show. So that's what I'll probably end up doing. But honestly, like I've stopped painting altogether. Just because like one, it gets fucking everywhere. And two, depending on where I'm at in the card or like the venue that I'm in, if the venue's too hot, my paint runs. And then I just look like I got gangbanged by Crayola. And then if you know, if I'm out there in the match, like, and we're out there and we're sweaty and it's hot and stuff, like the paint will actually get like in the eyes and stuff. And like, thankfully, like I wear the contacts because it like blocks like all the particles and stuff. Because like what it does is it doesn't run like liquid; it'll chip because I use acrylic paint. But when it chips, it'll chip and it'll go right into my fucking eye every time.
See, it took you so long to realize that because I used to do it and then I stopped like immediately.
Well, like I've wanted to stop for a hot minute, but like I've always felt that like if I stopped doing it, people wouldn't follow like my character as much because I felt like the paint was like the paint and the gimmick went hand in hand. You know what I mean? If I felt like if I wasn't painting, I was just the way that I am right now. And then I realized that I was an idiot and people are still going to like me no matter what the fuck I do. So, you know.
So you've worked with Leo Rush, and I'm one of the biggest Leo Rush fans you'll ever see. How was it working with Leo?
Super fun. Super fun. Dude was I don't know if Raven can agree with this or not, but some of these old timey vets can be dicks. Or like the bigger names, like they can be straight up assholes, dude. They'll come in and they're only interested in getting their shit in, their spots, their shine, and they're the whole point of having a TV name and being on a card with an indie guy is to elevate the promotion and the indie guy. So when you have somebody like Leo Rush, who comes from that same mindset of I'm here to work, you're going to pay me to wrestle, I'm going to wrestle. You know what I mean? So it was just really fun, man. And he was super open to ideas. And like that show itself got completely fucked up because I was supposed to face Callahan on that show, and like Leo wasn't even supposed to be on the show. And then like week of, everything like just changed. And then I was supposed to work Dave Christ, and he never fucking showed up. That piece of shit never showed up. He no-showed the show. So I ended up getting thrown into the Leo Rush match, into a triple threat. So he was just super accommodatable. And because if Leo Rush would have said, no, I'm doing a singles, like that would have been the extent of it. I would have left it alone. And I just wouldn't have worked that night. But the fact that like Leo was like, absolutely, come on, we'll fill you in on what we got and we'll go from there. You know, he was super fun, man. I would work Leo any day of the week.
Sorry, guys, I had my dad come in and stuff. Raven, same for you. Who was your favorite opponent to work with?
G Raver.
I was gonna say, if you don't say me, I'm gonna go to North Carolina and kick you in the dick.
G Raver.
Did you get more work on your hand done?
No. Hang on.
No?
Skull. Al. Madhouse. Stay humble. The Big Vizier. The Alpha Omega.
Uh-huh. Okay.
No, it's still there.
No. I know that's still there. I saw that earlier.
Tucked up.
Yeah. It's been a hot minute. No, what I'm saying is the your other hand looked a lot darker. Yeah.
It's the ink I had them use.
The black around it threw me off because like I'm in the process of blacking out all of it.
That's the same box I bought with you.
So who was your favorite opponent besides G Raver? Say me, motherfucker. Say me.
Dude, that's so hard.
I was about to say, dude, you've had some good ones between like Tremont and Cannonball, and like you've had some awesome people to work with.
I don't know. Like you were fun in like I can't really break it down because it's just.
It's hard.
All those people had their special things about them. Like Raver had his own special thing. Ocean had his own special thing. Tremont had his own special thing with me. And it's just, I can't pinpoint one person.
Right.
I mean, working my fucking hero that was it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we all kind of, especially like, you grow up, you're saying, man, if I ever do this, that's the guy who I'm going to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, if I was ever in the ring, like my dream opponent would probably be Leo because of just how good he actually is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just about to ask you, like, if you were a wrestler, who would your dream opponent be? And I was going to ask Raven the same thing. If you were a wrestler, who would your dream opponent be?
There's like 3 people for me on that list. There's Leo, and there's you. And not just saying that because you're on here. I would love to kick your ass. And then there's one more.
Money's on that.
It's such an oddball because not a lot of people think he's like really that talented. But Tyler Breeze.
Okay. Raven, that's a guy that was on NXT and then he went to SmackDown and now he's back on NXT. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, he looked confused.
Um,
Okay.
I
So,
don't know. Like, if you could go back in time, like Danny Havoc would be like
ooh,
one,
okay.
because that was like the big influence.
Uh-huh.
What about
Do you,
McFoley?
Who?
McFoley.
Eh,
Not even Japan?
eh.
I'm not talking about WWE. Let's talk about before he got to WWE. I'm talking about Japan. Cactus
I was
Jack.
about to say, like, Japan, Cactus Jack, and you would be fun.
I mean, yeah, but
But I don't know, man. Like, I've got a couple people on like my bucket list of like to do.
me again.
And no, actually not.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about like the dreams of like matches that like I've always wanted to have, but I don't know if I'll ever get the opportunity to. So Hardy, like Jeff would be one. Bray Wyatt.
Obviously.
Mark.
Dude, fucking I would have absolutely loved to have faced Brody Lee.
Oh my goodness.
And then
Rest in peace, Brody.
dude, fucking Tommy End, who is Aleister Black to everybody who doesn't know, but like dude, Tommy End has always been like my like Jeff and Tommy and Bray are like the three that have always been on like that list as I've progressed as a worker. And I'm just like, those are the three. Like those are the three names that I want, and I'm gonna get at least one of them before I'm done wrestling.
I'd say
You notice how all his guys are WWE guys.
That's not true. Oh, and Moxley. I want
like
Mox.
Disney death match.
Nah, I want Mox. No, dude, because like
he is.
The way that I look at it is it's just like seeing like that's your element. Like you want deathmatch, which is great and that's fine. Can you imagine like the psychological match I could have with somebody like Bray Wyatt? Could you imagine the strike fest that I could have with Tommy End? These are the things that I look at. Like you're looking at it from like, I want deathmatch, give me, and like, dude, Danny Havoc is an amazing choice. He really is.
Because he was the innovator of it.
I'm surprised you didn't say somebody like Sick Nick Mondo.
Oh, dude, I talked to him. Like, that's fucking.
Uh-huh.
But, like, Mondo got me into it, but, like, Danny was my influence.
Right. But, like, if you could go back in time and, like, if you could have a list of people to work, like, Sick would be on there.
Oh, yeah, Mondo, Danny.
Pondo. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, I mean, I like Pondo. He's cool people, but just like.
I was never a Pondo fan, bro.
He's good, dude. He's a good dude.
Seems nice.
Caleb,
he's actually on a show that we're working on right now for Colt. He'll be on that show.
So I've asked everybody else, but Caleb's just kind of sitting there. I'm working on integrating co-host. I'm sorry about that, Caleb, but who would it be for you, man? The three guys that if you were ever in a ring that you would need to get before you're done.
If we could go back in time, Ultimate Warrior would definitely be one of them.
Ooh. Coked out warrior? That's a whole mess that's a whole mess, bro.
That's a whole lot of coke.
That's a whole lot of coke. Like, no offense, but like I love Ultimate Warrior, huge fan, but like
Sting would definitely be another one.
who?
Sting.
But which version?
NWO Sting, old school Sting, or like TNA Sting?
Probably TNA.
If I see Joker Sting, then I'm there.
Seeing like TNA Sting was good. Like he was, like I got nothing against him. Because he was still workable. Like Sting nowadays, nah.
He's got a match coming up at Revolution with Darby Allin, so we'll see how that goes.
I want to see Raven versus Darby so bad.
Please do that. If he wasn't signed by AEW,
that would be fun. They'd literally be in the back and being like, all right, what's the stupidest bump that we can take?
That coffin drop off the apron should have never happened. When he jumped and Cody moved, it should have never happened.
Yeah, it should have.
It messed him up bad.
No, it didn't. He was back on TV like the next week or two.
Yeah, but he couldn't move. I'm
Well,
just thinking from a human being standpoint, Darby Allin is not normal.
Hey, I'm gonna die in like 5 years, so why not?
Yeah, like. All right, Caleb. So you got Sting and Ultimate Warrior. What's your third?
I ain't saying this just because you're on the show. Probably Raven.
Hey,
Hey,
Definitely, probably.
I'm super easy.
in more ways than one.
Hey,
Hey,
More wrestlers with disabilities like mine, like Gregory Iron. I'm trying to get him on the show, but he won't answer me no more. Gregory. I feel like me and Raven could do something. Like I'd be willing to do something like that.
yeah, I'll stab you. It's great. I got you.
Just make sure it's my good arm and not my bad arm.
No, I'm talking like in your neck.
Oh damn. Bro.
okay, New Jack.
What is your opinion? I'm glad you brought that up. What is your opinion on New Jack? Both of you guys.
Huh?
Both of you.
Both of us.
I don't
I'll
know.
go with, let's go with Zach first.
So would I do it? Would I work New Jack?
I don't think many people would.
Yeah. But it would come with some ground rules. One, I have 2 security guards. Both of them have a gun loaded in their hand at all times. 2, if at any point he pulls out a knife, I am allowed to shoot him. 3, no stabbing, no gunshot wound. This is how we're doing things. No, oddly enough, like me and New Jack were actually a thought process at one point. Not even from me. The owner of Atomic wanted to do like ECW versus ARW. And he brought up the idea of New Jack. And I was like, I just had a little girl. No. Flat out no. And they were like, well, it's still just a thought process, but if anybody could like handle him if he got out of control, it would be you. And I'm like, I can't control anybody if they're out of control as long as they have a knife and I'm on the ground bleeding. Like, but I think New Jack as a person is fine. The problem with people like New Jack and like Sabu, and I'll tell you flat out, and like Sandman and like these ECW originals, except for like a select few, they're so hopped up on fucking drugs, dude. Like if you listen to the Dark Side of the Ring thing, like
Great documentary series.
yeah, but and like New Jack tells you flat out, like every time he went out there, he was doing a line of coke. Dude, I just saw something in Murder Death Kill, which is like a Facebook group page of who the fuck was it? It was Schlack.
I don't mean
Yeah.
to interrupt, but I gotta hop on.
Marcus and them doing coke off a mirror.
Yeah.
Yep.
What'd you say, Caleb?
I said I don't mean to interrupt, but I gotta hop off here.
Absolutely.
All right. See you guys later.
All right, brother, be careful.
He was super quiet.
I don't think he's used to it, you know, like, and I keep telling him, like, you don't have to wait for me to bring you in, dude. It's your show too. Hey, if you have a question, ask them. They're really cool dudes. They're not like, you know, I told him I was nervous because I met you. I'm not nervous around you no more. I was nervous at first with this maniac, but now I'm good. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I guess he's just kind of sort of nervous or something. I don't know. But we're about to wrap it up here in just a little bit, but I'm gonna go to Raven now and ask you, would you ever work New Jack?
Yeah, I'm a pass dog.
Yeah.
I'm a pass dog.
I've been stabbed before. I don't want to do it again.
He said I'm a pass dog.
Like I've heard New Jack outside of the ring is a nice dude. Like he came and
Yeah.
visited He got tattooed by one of my buddies that did one of my tattoos, and he was like, he's super chill as fuck. Like, I don't know what the big deal is.
Because inside the ring, he's an utter psychopath.
I mean, yeah.
Like,
An incident. That's all you got to say.
well, and
But that
man,
really wasn't his fault. If I'm being honest, that really wasn't his fault.
no, I mean, but I mean, you hear like what he did to like Vic Grimes.
That yeah.
You know what I mean? And like he didn't like fucking Vic, and they went out there and they beat the shit out of each other. He tasered the fuck out of him when he wasn't supposed to, and then tossed him off the scaffolding. Which, by the way, Raven, we need to do a scaffolding match.
Nope.
No, don't do that.
Raven does not do heights.
Raven, come on.
No, I'm good.
I'm on Raven on this one. Don't do that. That's too much for you guys.
Little dude, there was a dude talking to me last week. He's like, "Yeah, dude, we're gonna build this to a certain point, and then we're gonna end it with a scaffold match." I said, "You can end it with a scaffold match, because I ain't going off of it."
Yeah, no, that's the reason why we only went up 2 steps on the ladder for the Death Valley. By
I
the way,
also could not see.
that's high enough. All right, why? We're not even that far. I'm scared of heights.
I'm scared of heights.
I
Oh,
couldn't see either.
did the Death Valley driver hurt, or was it just like a really quick ow?
I mean, it's glass, man.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, is there one spot that either of you would not take?
And that-
Scissors.
The destroyer. But is there
Scissors.
anything else that you'd be like, nope, not doing that?
Scissors.
Scissors.
Scissors and fire. I don't do fire.
I've done fire.
I've done it. I ain't doing it again.
I won't do scissors. And I won't do Japanese death boards. Like, I won't.
Death board.
No, dude. I won't do like the Japanese meat cleaver knife boards. I won't do those.
Oh, those are knife boards. That's not a death board.
No. Like our death boards that like we talk about doing.
The light tubes, the 3 light tubes cut cans, 3 light tubes cut cans, then
Right,
gusset plates on top. Yeah, that's a death board.
And like our knife boards that we talk about doing, we're using steak knives. And in Japan, they're using like straight up meat cleavers.
Yeah, because Sai's got a wicked scar on his back from him.
Right. And like there's like meat cleaver knife boards and scissors are like the 2 things where I'm just like, fuck that. Like, I've done barbed wire, I've done thumbtacks, you know what I mean? I prefer not to do them, but there, like I said, there's like 2 or 3 things out there that I'm just like, absolutely not. Like, I want to do a piranha death match so damn bad.
The hell's a piranha? Okay, you're exposing me to new shit that I didn't even know existed.
You literally bleed into a piranha tank and you get bit by a piranha, and that's how you lose.
Yeah, so like what happens is they build like this very big like glass tank, like an aquarium deal, and they put a bunch of piranhas in there. And what you do is you work the match, and you have to put your opponent in the tank, and they have to stay in there for a certain amount of time.
I think it's like 10 seconds.
It's like, yeah, well, so Wrestling Society X did it, and it was only 3 seconds, and Japan does it by a 10 count.
Yeah, that
what I'm
was
saying?
Mr. Danger, and I don't remember who else did it.
But I
know
would like
what
to.
you're talking about.
I want to do a piranha death match just because. When was the last time you saw one in the States?
Well, it's like, as much as I don't like fire, when I do an Onita explosion death match, yeah.
Yeah. You know, the only one that I've never understood was the ticking time bomb cage death match. And like,
Wow.
pretty much everything just collapses, but like you're fine.
Now, like the no rope barbed wire that explodes, yeah, like I do that.
Yeah.
So what about fire? That
Dude, I'm doing Zach.
What's up, bud?
about fire?
I'm doing a no rope barbed wire next month.
Okay.
Yeah,
You have fun with that.
I'm gonna love it.
I want to do a no ropes chains match.
I'll do it with you.
Oh yeah, that one's super easy.
Man, dude, oh my God, I wish I lived in Florida. I hate West Virginia right now. I wish I.
He's closer to me than he is you.
Yeah. You can go hang out with Raven any day of the week. He does absolutely nothing in his personal life.
Shit.
But I'm gonna wrap it up after this question to Raven. What is it about fire that you just say, fuck it? No, I'm not doing that ever again.
I'm not getting burned. I'm not getting burned again. I'm not doing it.
The smell
Yeah,
of
man.
flesh is not a good smell, huh?
2nd-degree burns are a bitch, and I'm not doing it again.
You know, we can sit here all day long and we talk about like what we won't do and stuff like that. But like, man, we've made it sound like really easy, the stuff that we like put ourselves through, you know. The glass, the gusset plates, the fucking the bigger bumps, like the idealism of like a scaffold match or like a piranha death match, or you know what I mean, no rope barbed wire. Like, we make it sound like really easy, but at the end of the day, like, it's not. And that's the best way that I can put it. Like, we're talking about it like it's nothing. But dude, every time that we step in that ring, like, it's a risk just to step in the ring and work a normal match. You know, can the guy carry you? Can you, do you trust him enough not to plant you on your fucking neck? You know, my brother literally just did a backflip off the top rope. That's it, just a backflip where he lands on his feet and he turns it into an arm drag. And he's done it for years. And he did it last October, and he tore his ACL and his meniscus
Dang.
all in one shot, just because I don't know, you know. So the fact that like every single time you step in between the ropes, like, you're risking not being able to walk for a year, replacing serious bones and joints and ligaments with medical surgery. Now add barbed wire, add glass light tubes. You know, G Raver is the fucking man when it comes to light tubes, and you know, he was out for what, 14 months
Yeah.
because it sliced him.
And I mean, he'd done the spot before with the exact same guy, and
Just a freak accident, man.
the freak
You know what I
accident
mean?
tore every bit of that wide open.
And it happens. It really does, and it sucks, man. So like, don't ever think that like, and I'm not saying that you do, but like, just don't ever get it in your head that like, you know, just because we choose not to do something because of a fear of it or whatever, but like, it's genuinely because like, we do value ourselves in some way, shape, and form.
Family to go home to at the end of the day. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to be able to come home. I mean, like, do I really get off to the stuff I do? Absolutely. But, you know, you wake up to the, you know, it's like with Zach's match. I had so many cuts from glass in my back that when I woke up the following morning, I was stuck to the sheets. Like,
And then
that's
we went,
the reality.
yeah. No, dude, and like that's how it is. Like, I think whenever I end up leaving like anything, like a glass match or anything, like, dude, my wife spends the next like 3 days like pulling little shards out of me here and there, and you know what I mean. And at the end of the day, like, dude, like, we're not just booked, you know, once or twice a month where we have the time to recoup. Like, Raven's probably working every weekend as of late. You know, I'm doing the same thing. On top of holding down a normal 9 to 5, and then coming home and then training people to be wrestlers. You know, dude, I just posted about it yesterday. Like, you know, every once in a while, like, you need to take a day because between work and wrestling nonstop, and then just like training as of late, like, dude, my body shut down on me flat out. Like, I woke up and I went to go get out of bed, and I couldn't do it.
Yep.
Like, my body would not allow me to get up. And like the day before, dude, like, I couldn't even eat. Like, everything I ate came right the fuck back up. Like, my body was shutting down. And it was because I've been pushing myself for the better part of the past month. I've had no days off. You know, wrestling is wrestling is amazing. It really is. But when you hear the stories about, people being addicted to pain pills and everything else, like, it's real, dude. It's damn real. And it sucks because you sit there and you're like, oh, that would never happen. That would never happen. But dude, like, I can't tell you the last time I've taken so much ibuprofen and fucking Tylenol. You know what I mean? This past year alone, I had to take steroid shots. Not steroid shots to get bigger, but steroid shots just to make the
To heal.
pain. Yeah, just to make the pain fucking go away. So by no stretch of the imagination, for anybody watching at home or for anybody that listens to this later, like, just don't take that, like, we're talking about gusset plates and all of this, and like, we're like, oh, it's so fun, and like, we love the idea of it because, like, we love creating the memories of it.
Absolutely.
But the after effect is real, and like, the shit that we're doing, like, we make it sound easy, but it's not, and there's a huge risk behind it.
Yeah, everything is done properly. There's a million. Dude, I've seen people with gashes this big in them from gusset plates because they didn't know what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's someone, I get asked this question all the time now because of the newborn. It's like, what are you gonna do if he wants to do this? And that's when you have that sit down talk. It's like, if you want to do what I did, you need to understand the hellfire you're about to walk into.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you walk into it, there's no turning back.
No, dude. Once you get your first taste, like, the best comparison that I can think about is it's kind of like a great white shark with blood in the water. Like, once you get that scent of it, once you get that taste, like, you're gonna want more. And at the end of the day, dude, like, I'm a father of little girls. Raven's a father of a little boy, right? Yes. 2?
Yeah.
2 little boys. We have families to go home to, and what we do, like I said, like, it looks easy, it sounds easy when we talk about it, but it fucking sucks. And man, you have these fucking you have this schmuck, this fucking dumbass individual running around on the internet called Superhuman.
Who the hell is that?
Good.
That's great. The fact that you don't know him means everything to me. But I'm gonna explain him. He is this individual that wants to be a wrestling stuntman. And he goes out there in his backyard, and his exact words are, "Don't try this at home. I hope you like it. This is for the juggalos and juggalettes." Whoop whoop.
Oh, that's that stupid idiot that does
Yes.
the fucking jumping off the damn
Yes.
check in on the table and barbed wire. The stupid idiot.
Yes. And he was at a show with me, or he was at a show that I was on. He wasn't there with me, but he watched me use gusset plates with somebody that I trust. And literally the next day, I see a video of him doing a front flip onto fucking 6 gusset plates. And now he's out here taking light tubes, and his recent one was a fucking weed whacker.
Ugh.
Turned on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, these are things, like I said, like, this is a prime example because he has no wrestling training.
No.
When he
wants to be something special.
When he tried to get trained to be a wrestler, he said it was too hard and he quit. He said he doesn't want to be a professional wrestler. He just wants to be a stunt man. Okay.
One of them's gonna go bad one day.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. These people tune in to watch him hurt himself, but he has no idea what he's doing. But the fact that, like, his mother and his father condone what he's doing.
I mean, I watch the way he lands sometimes, and I'm like, dude, your spine is gonna be fucked in like the next 3 years.
dude, his old co-host that he used to have, it was good friend Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
And Paul used to always wear the wrestling mask. Paul actually wanted to wrestle. So Paul has come to my school and he's learning how to do it properly. And he stopped doing anything with Superhuman. And in return for that, GFP has learned how to fall and take bumps and how to work like a worker. Now, Nick is his real name, and Nick is out here still doing what he was doing. And because of the fact that he was getting clout from it, his mom and his dad, his mom is filming, and his dad is the one now out there hitting his son with a weed whacker, hitting him with light tubes, condoning this dumbass behavior, all because it puts them in the public's eye. And like that, what Paul did was he was put in a bad situation, realized it was a bad situation, got out of that situation, and is learning the right way to do things. And that's the way that I would suggest everybody do it. Nick is the example of what not to do.
See, the thing that irritates me with that, I'm young, but I understand the business a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I understand that there's going to be kids that watch that shit and think that that's cool and try to do it, even though
Do it.
don't fucking do it. They're going to try to do it anyway because they say, oh, that guy got 1,000 likes on it. So if I do it, I'll get 1,000 likes.
Well, the problem is to even be 30 now. Like I look back and people were like, "You're gonna hate yourself when you're 30," and like to be 30, I don't feel that bad like everyone thought I would and said I would, because I learned how to properly do it instead of just landing, cockeyed like this on my butt, which makes your spine do this, which is eventually going to cause permanent fucking damage.
Scoliosis, paralysis, anything. Like,
so learn to do it right.
right. Like, if you want to do the dumb shit, by all means, do the dumb shit. But like, learn how to do the dumb shit so at least like you're protected in some way, shape, or form. That's the shit that, and like, dude, I had to learn it the hard way. Before like this gimmick, I'm big. I'm huge into serial killers, and the two that always caught my attention are Eric and Dylan. And Eric and Dylan are the mass shooters in the Columbine High School shooting incident.
I was about to say, they don't classify as a serial killer. They're spree mass murderers.
Spree mass murderers. But if you ask anybody, they're serial killers because
serial killers kill more people over a period of days or time.
Yeah. Well, fuck off.
That's the FBI.
I'm just telling you that they consider them serial killers. And even though Raven's right, they're not. They're spree mass murderers. But I had always been not influenced, but interested. To the point that at one point I wasn't the Human Horror Show. I was the Columbine Kid. And I went out there and I spoke. And I spoke of these individuals, and I was always talking about these individuals, which is making these kids turn around and look up these individuals. So now here I am, and I'm in this position where people are listening to me, and these kids are running around and they're doing the gun the gun trigger, and I'm in the ring and I'm screaming, "This is my Columbine," before I take off somebody's head. And before I can even say the word, the audience is saying it with me because they're condoning the shock and awe value of it. And man, I looked at that one day and I was like, this is not the image.
It's not the right way to go about it, because I do the same thing. And I literally was on a podcast last week and talked about it. You see the violence I portray and you see the character that I portray, but at the end of the day, come talk to me after the show, and I'm the guy that's there saying, hey, this isn't me. This is, I mean, it's me turned up, but it's a character inside of me. But like, don't go do this stupid shit. Don't be dumb. Show respect, finish school, save your money, do this, do that. Like that's always been me. Keep your level head.
Right. And like, and that's the thing, man. Like we as entertainers and us in the position that we are, like we have the ability to teach people. And while we're sitting out here and we're talking about mass murderers and serial killers, and we're producing Satanism, because that's obvious. That's honestly like what we are. I'm a full-blown Satanist. I am not afraid to admit it. That's what the tattoo on the side of my face is. It's the Leviathan cross. I am a full-blood Satanist. I'm an ordained minister through the Satanic Church, if we want to be precise about life. But
Luciferian. So,
but by no means are we out here. If anybody ever asks me, I tell them flat out, like, we're not out here sacrificing animals. We're not, like, all of that shit is so like media warped, and people have like the wrong idea. And like, man, it honestly just teaches you to like believe in yourself. And like, dude, I've believed in myself since day one. The fact that I never needed anything to, yeah, and that's what I think the biggest point here, because I'm not trying to get into like the religion aspect of it, but like that's what I portray in my character now. I teach people that it's okay to be weird and freaks and misunderstood and to be like social outcasts and stuff like that, because man, at the end of the day, like there's a Dr. Seuss quote, and I can't believe I'm about to say it, but like there's a Dr. Seuss quote that like I love it. And it says, you are you. This is truer than true. Nobody can be you better than you.
Yep.
And I love that because it's the truth.
I don't know if I'll
Man,
be able to say it because fucking my camera froze again. But just that's my biggest thing.
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
So I got
Man.
one more question for both of you, and then I'll wrap it up. I'll start with first. I got lost in the mall. I'm just sitting here enjoying this conversation.
We didn't get to do this last time.
No,
We didn't.
Our last conversation was go over the match, and then we got really dark and really serious.
Yeah, no, like we didn't get a chance to like really talk about stuff like this. So like I'm glad that we are. Like it's just a different vibe. Raven, we should start a podcast.
We should. Let's do it.
But I'll start with Zach first. What is the worst injury you've sustained in your career?
Didn't we cover this?
I think we covered the worst pain. Does that count as injury though? Because we can't.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah, dude. I moved my spine. I couldn't wrestle for like a month.
Yeah, like
I couldn't move for like a month.
I mean, like wrestling related injuries, we can go over that.
Yes.
So,
I mean, burying that much of my fucking finger in my elbow.
I was about to say, so like it kind of fits with what we were just kind of talking about, like the injury aspect of it. And like, mind you, like trained professional, like 14 years in the business. Raven's a couple years shy of me. So I've had work on my ankles. I've had work on my knee. I have had work on my hip. I have a piece of my spine, my spinal disc that is fragmented off, and it pushes against my sciatic nerve on my left side. My elbow, my hands, my neck, my shoulder. Like,
Thank God I'm not that beat up.
I do heights. You don't.
Nope. That reason exactly.
I'm jumping off of U-Hauls and everything else, but I'm, like I said before, like I'm a big boy that weighs more than his fair share of weight, like 270 pounds, jumping off and hitting a double stomp every week, or missing the double stomp and still landing on your feet, like. And I'm not just going for out. I'm going for height. Like if I'm gonna hit you with it, I'm gonna make it look like it's killing you. So you know, and I'm doing that from the top rope to the outside, to the apron, to the floor. You know what I mean? And like, we're an indie promotion. We work at indie promotions. They don't have mats on the outside of the ring. It's
None,
all
right?
concrete or wood. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's a lot of like physical abuse, like wrestling wise.
All right, with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. This has been the Off the Script. I messed up my own title. Shit. Okay, let me write it. This has been the Gorilla Position Talk Show. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe button. I have enjoyed my conversation with two of the best independent wrestlers in the world, and if you don't believe me, I don't care because that's my opinion. Thank you guys.
Hey, I'm trash.
I'm
Bro,
all right.
You guys, honestly, like I'll talk about this for a second. I know Zach saw my TikTok. I've not been doing good for the past 2 weeks. I've really been in my own head, and I'm not afraid to talk about that. And you guys watching that match made me realize what my dream was and why I still get up every day.
There you go.
So
That's
you guys
awesome.
are doing everything you need to do. So don't quit doing it. If you feel like you did something wrong, it happens. You guys say it all the time. You're not going to have a great match every time you step out there. You're not going to have a great interview every time you step out there. But as long as you pour your heart into it and you believe in yourself, then you're going to succeed.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think we've said that. But yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I
All right.
appreciate that.
I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this episode. I really appreciate you guys taking your time out of your night and coming and talking with me. And I look forward to seeing you guys work again against each other.
It'll happen.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait.
You see that, Zach?
Hmm. Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it. I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the support.
Later, brother.
Later, brother.